Okay. Um, okay, sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties. My computer was freezing. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Carrie Fields, and this is Turnaround Inc.'s 12th annual Purple Poetry Book live poetry reading event. So, for those who are just now learning about the Purple Poetry Book, for the past 12 years, Turnaround has been publishing this book in honor of survivors of sexual assault, intimate partner violence, and human trafficking. All of the short stories, poetry, prose, and artwork that has been submitted is submitted by survivors themselves or allies in the movement to end abuse and violence. So, since 1978, Turnaround has been providing survivors 100% free support services. And if you're looking for an easy way to support us and our mission, then this is a really good option. So, if you haven't picked up your copy yet, the Purple Poetry Book is currently available for $15 during our presale, which will end tonight. Our website is listed below. And moving forward, you'll be able to purchase the book on Amazon for $25. 100% of the proceeds, whether you buy it during the presale or on Amazon, go towards funding our free support services for survivors across Baltimore City and Baltimore County. So we are also excited to share that we have a few raffles going on right now. So if you purchase a book during the pre-sale, you'll be eligible to win a $50 gift card to the Ivy Bookshop in Mount Washington or a $30 gift card to Greedy Reads in Baltimore City. And if you added your name to our Eventbrite RSVP list, then you could potentially win a $50 gift card to the Weiss grocery stores. So big thank you to the Ivy Bookshop, Greedy Reads, and Weiss for donating these gift cards to us. So there's still time to enter the raffle. So yeah, hope you do so. So tonight is a very special event. The past few years have been an incredibly difficult time for a lot of us. And this year we received more submissions to the Purple Poetry Book than we ever have before. Many of those that were included this year have appeared in multiple editions over the years. The Purple Poetry Book really is more than a book. It's a support system. So all that being said, we would like to start off tonight's event by introducing a very special human that without her, there would be no Purple Poetry Book. LaQuisha Hall not only started this tradition years ago when working at Turnaround, she also shared her platform this year, Confident Canvas, with us by providing a free creative workshop to her network so people could create art especially for the Purple Poetry Book. LaQuisha's artwork and prose can be found in the foreword of this year's book, which we're really honored to have. LaQuisha is an educator, a published author, an entrepreneur, and a dreamer. We are so honored and grateful to have her here. Please welcome LaQuisha Hall.
Hi, everyone. And oh my gosh, Carrie, I just love you. Thank you so much for that very sweet introduction. I am honored to be before you tonight. There was a time in my life when I thought that there was a possibility that I wouldn't. And I am honored to have written a foreword for this Purple Poetry Book, and I would like to share that with you this evening. Experiencing domestic violence over a long body of years caused me to eventually curl into an arched form and break onto a shore of onlookers who were shocked. They were not expecting me to break right at their feet. The shock of many turned into a silence that swept over me. I never again wanted myself nor anyone else to experience the fear and anxiety I did. I broke the shore. Afterwards, I was vulnerable, seeking support from any place or person who could offer it to me, and that was detrimental. I learned this at 14 years old when I thought a grown man had my best interest at heart. I carried guilt and shame for 2 years while arguing within myself. You are old enough to say something. Attempting to protect my family from being hurt yet again, I left home at 16 years old. I broke the shore. It was evident while I attended a North Carolina university as a freshman. I walked about the campus with a heaviness. Young men could not even compliment me without me snapping at them. I no longer sought attention. I wanted the entire world to leave me alone because the world kept moving one day, and I decided it was time for me to stop moving. After putting on my favorite dress and writing discomforting notes, I swallowed over 100 pills. I broke the shore. When I finally decided to take back the night, morning, and my life, I joined the Turnaround Inc. advocacy group in Baltimore, Maryland. Women Against Violence Everywhere, also known as WAVE, was the catalyst to the sounds of the tide that would end my silence. I found hope, strength, and solidarity through a group of women who survived just as I had. We cleaned up what was swept under rugs and rebuilt the pieces of our lives that we thought we hid from the world. I broke the shore. But this time, it was a powerful break. It was a breakthrough that empowered me to rise like the wave I was destined to be. I became a wave that rushed in to shores, bringing attention to the beauty of the ocean. I proclaimed through an effervescent flow that life had purpose and meaning, that it is vast and meant to be enjoyed. Through the Purple Poetry Book, we will break many shores together. May my voice, your voice, and the voices in this book continue to flood the earth with a swell of hope. I appreciate you all listening to the introduction that I wrote, not only to support Turnaround, but also as a homage to WAVE, Women Against Violence Everywhere, which is where I got my start to advocacy as a 24-year-old moving into a new state from the South. And I'm so grateful that over time, I've been able to share my story, my platform with others across this state, across this nation. And it has turned into an opportunity for people that I've never met in person to publish their art and their heart in this book. I am a literacy educator in Baltimore City, and I thrive off of all things connected to literacy. And so alliteration is something that's very, very important to me. So the Purple Poetry Book was named thus because I liked same consonant sounds in the beginning of words. But what was even more important than that was that I did not know then that that was the start of offering others an opportunity to share their voice. I wanted to further that work this year and decided before even knowing any plans that Turnaround had that I was going to continue to use my platform to support survivors, specifically in October of domestic violence through my Restore Your Royalty campaign, which is an opportunity for artists to use the color purple in creation and share messages of hope on social media using the hashtag Restore Your Royalty. And over that time period, I asked people to donate to support survivors in getting the help they need. And I'm very, very pleased and honored to present Turnaround tonight with a check for $3,031.05 from my community to you. I'm so grateful to Turnaround Inc. for all that you have done for survivors, all that you have done for me in my start as a young woman a long time ago in WAVE. I broke the shore, y'all, and I'm so excited for others to break the shore with me. And another shore breaker that I'm very honored to introduce tonight is Kate James.
Thank you so much. It feels such a privilege to be sat here just outside London, many, many shores away, but to be sharing that sort of that passion and that vision of life and hope. And it just resonates so much with me. So thank you. She was mad, but she was me. She was a phoenix rising from the ashes that once choked her lungs, with every breath she took, just trying to be. She was mad, but she was intelligent, curious, playful, and kind. Her insight, a fractured, iridescent light that calmed her heart when her mind, her beautiful mind, was tearing everything apart. She was mad, but she was brave and strong, and she was building a life where she could belong. She carried that oppressive empathy, giving others a voice. Yet for so many lifetimes, the only choice was to bury the sound that echoed inside her. She was mad, but she was calm, courageous, connected, humble, human. Her spirit was unquenchable, with a soul so old it was born amongst the stars. She was mad, but she was an exhausted storm contained for too long, managed and held and smoothed, soothed. She ached to burn, burned to feel, numbed to survive, longed to heal. She was mad, but she could look into those wide open eyes and welcome the worlds that lived within her. The loss she grieved, the scars, the stories, the hopes that made her unique, unlike any other. She was mad, but with each breath she took, she inhaled life, exhaled fear, knowing this was the only way to thrive in each moment, each chapter, each love, each tear. Yes, she was mad, but it was never the madness that fueled her glow. It was the beautiful, untold truth that only she could know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Kate. I'm very excited to have someone from across the pond at this year's event. So next up, we have Relly, who is an author and a poet. She's been writing for 25 years and used her talent of writing to educate society on topics that impact women of all ages. Hey, everybody. I'm so sorry we're having technical difficulties. Thank you so much, Kate, for your reading. That was beautiful. We're going to move to Nikki T, who is going to be performing To My Future Lover, and then we will be back with some more reading. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you all. I'm very excited to be here. This is my first time writing a love poem, so feeling very vulnerable, but also empowered by this community, by Purple Poetry, and just amazing spoken word artists. So here I go. I am ready for love. Why are you hiding from me? To my future lover, I am still waiting on you. The first poem that I wrote, I have read it to myself every day since then, praying to God that some way, somehow, you can hear each and every line, that you can feel each and every word that falls from the fruit of my lips, that it pierces your eardrums until my voice becomes familiar. Dear future lover, can you not feel that I hunger for you? So much that I almost gave your love away to a man who made me forget that abuse was even a thing, that made me feel the same safety and security I longed for from my father. I'm so sorry, future lover. I really thought he was you. He searched the depths of me, inside and out, made love to this same body that I hated for years. And when he called my makeupless face beautiful, I thought, how could this not be him? But he later showed me what love is not, that the love I need does not live in him. So here I am again, future lover, with another poem for you, to let you know that I will not give up on love, because I know that you exist. I will not be bitter, for love did not hurt me. It did not confuse me, nor did it slip away. Love is right where it needs to be, with you. So I will say this again, future lover. I have seen you in my dreams, and because of you, most mornings I wake up happy. I wake up with love in my heart. The thought of you is keeping me alive. It is keeping me sane, future lover. I am a jealous woman. Forgive me. I envy everyone who has come before me, whose lips met with yours before mine ever could, but I will wait patiently because God is working on you just for me. While I am waiting, while I am guarding what is left of my heart for you, would you mind answering a few questions? Like, are you okay with silence? Will you expect me to speak when I am spoken to or when I am ready? Do you like to listen to her or Jasmine Sullivan? Will you sing me my favorite song while you comb through my hair? What about your favorite meal? Will you share that with me so that I can make sure that I am always home to you? Can we kiss in public like they do in the movies? While everyone stares and whispers, I want a love just like that. Future lover, have you gone to therapy yet? Have you done any internal work? I'm afraid that our trauma will try to outdo each other. I am terrified that our past will be the forefront of our union. So if you have not gone yet, please, will you try to go soon? Do you want children? How many? I'm hoping that we could have about 4, but promise me this, that we will always show them what Black love looks like, that Black love does not have to be birthed from suffering, that Black love isn't what America has portrayed it to be. Will you kiss me every night before bed, as if we had met for the very first time, as if it were our last night together? What about softness? Do you promise to be gentle with me and slow to anger? I will be honest with you, future lover. I am terrified to meet you. because every person who has felt lucky to have me in the beginning felt unsure in the end. So I will leave this poem unfinished with one last question for now. Will you promise that our love will be endless? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikki. That was absolutely beautiful. So Nikki is a PhD candidate in psychology at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. She is a writer, spoken word artist, international slam poetry competitor, and Nikki uses her platform to tell Black stories and center Black voices. So thank you so much, Nikki. That was beautiful. So next, going to really quick announce the raffle winners. So the winner of the $50 gift card to the Ivy Bookshop, I'm very excited to announce, is Arthur Goldstein. So if Arthur is watching this right now, we will be getting in touch soon to make sure that you get that. Next up, we have the winner of the $30 gift card, which is Josh Levinson. Congratulations, Josh. Josh, we'll be reaching out to you as well. And last but not least, Shannon Taylor will be receiving the $50 gift card to the Weiss grocery stores. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for purchasing a copy of the book and RSVPing to the event. We'll make sure to email all of you next week to get your mailing info. So thank you. So let's keep going. So next up, we have Jules Coppola, who will be performing a short story called Maria. Jules is the regional sex trafficking navigator of Anne Arundel County. She believes that all people should be free and that we are not defined by our mistakes, but our higher impulses. Please welcome Jules.
Hi, Carrie. Thank you so much for letting me read and be with you tonight. Moria. Long before Anne Arundel County's winding country roads, with BWI's bustling terminals and bright red steamed crabs dusted in Old Bay seasoning, before I'd come back home to Maryland, there was a different kind of world. It was a place of scorching heat, calls to prayer and sweaty bodies, all rail thin, with hands reaching upward for just a moment of grace. We stood together atop the Acropolis in the scorching heat, my face dripping, ripe as a tomato, as we looked down upon Athens, a city barely awake, dappled in a beautiful orange glow. Clothes hung from wire, nestled within the vast expanse before us, tucked into the countless nooks and crannies, a contrast of lush green and ancient rock. Athens was a dream, overflowing with rich food, tourists, and history. By contrast, the name of our destination was widely regarded as though it was taken from Dante's Inferno. Survivors described Moria as the epicenter of hell, a place of hopelessness, desperation, disease, and death. Other things happened in Moria too. Sex was sometimes traded for necessities. This was, of course, long before Moria burned to the ground in 2020. The refugee camp on the Isle of Lesbos had been carefully designed for no more than 3,000 people. Still, numbers skyrocketed in 2020, with over 13,000 occupants, almost half of whom were children, housed beneath tarps and makeshift shelters. Rumors abounded. First, tales of fights over scraps of rice, then other narratives of horror, sex trafficking and prostitution in exchange for food and other necessities. Children were not exempt. The international relief community warned that Greece's immigration system was near collapse. Still, in 2015, the name Moria inspired high emotion in those who'd escaped its clenched jaws. 2015, long before a Somali individual tested positive for COVID-19 and a horrible outbreak within the camp ensued. long before the refugees fleeing the burning camp were allegedly corralled like animals, assaulted, and prevented from escaping by local residents. Some said that the fire was intentionally set from within. The wider world beyond the fences of Moria knew little of what lay inside. Many aid workers from the United States had been drawn to Greece by an image of a washed-up child face down on the beach in Bodrum. The hashtags read, #humanity washed ashore. The journey across the Aegean Sea was rife with danger. I recalled a survivor turning over a toddler's shoe in the palm of his hand. He claimed that of the many aboard his makeshift raft, only 3 survived the trip. The rest found a permanent resting place beneath the waves, most of them children. Whenever international crisis occurs, the vultures begin to circle. While many legitimate NGOs took up residence in Greece, another sort took hold too. Experienced businessmen offered predatory loans to desperate families. Labor trafficking became rife as refugees who were not legally allowed to work as a condition of their asylum sought the financial means to feed and care for their families. One NGO even rented out pots and pans to refugee families that could not afford cookware at incredibly inflated rates. And then, of course, there were the pimps. Many of those caught up in this web were much younger than 18. For an adult, this was a minefield. But for children, it was Russian roulette, a game that one cannot win forever, and for which the consequence of loss is always lethal. Yet this was humanity, our best and our worst, helpers and vultures, some coming together to give and others to feast upon the flesh of the wounded. The faces in Anne Arundel County are different, yet I have seen vacant eyes here too, and that same upward reaching of the heart, the desperate faces of mothers who simply do not know how to steer their children through the dangerous waters of sexual trauma towards freedom. Perhaps we too have lit a fire inside our camp with names of victims like Centoya Brown. As the flames rage around us, we are racing with wild eyes, running for our lives towards freedom. For one thing is certain, Moria is damned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jules. So next we have Relly. She's been writing for 25 years and uses her talent to educate society on topics that impact women of all ages. We're going to give this one another shot. Please welcome Relly, who will be performing her poem, Abuse on the Mind.
Hello, my name is Shirelli Carter. I am a writer and novelist. I write poetry and I also write children's books. I do want to thank Turnaround Inc. for granting me this opportunity to read this poem that is very near and dear to my heart and also my loved ones. And I hope that any victims that have been impacted by abuse can understand that no matter how weak you think you may be, you are still strong. You just have to gather the strength to understand that you love yourself, and that's all that matters. So I'm going to read my poem called Abuse of the Mind, and I hope you enjoy it. Black and blue are my new skin colors, left with an alcoholic father and a distant mother. I looked for a love to fill the holes in my heart. I saw his face in the light, but his shadow in the dark. I was hit with words that pierced my soul. Now my face meets daily with his powerful blows. I hid in the closet and under the stairs. My face fakes a smile, but my eyes cannot hide the tears. He says he loves me and needs me in his life, so I stay by his side and believe his abuse is right. I kick away the covers as he kicks away at my chest. He says I shouldn't have worn that tight, sexy dress. I hide my beauty and cover my bruises. His love is my drug, and I like to feel useless. He isolates me from my friends and family. He answers my pain and makes me question my sanity. My glasses cover my purple eyes, but my
Hello, everyone. We are so sorry about the delays. Carrie's is having some technical issues, so we are going to move forward with some poets who contributed this year to our Purple Poetry Book. We want to keep the excitement going, and we just want to remain in grace and thankfulness for everybody being here. So I am going to introduce our next poet, and we'll close out with our executive director. But if I can say a little piece on our next poet, it is Sonini Crenshaw, who's a poet, who will be reading the poem "The Inner Child Speaks." Sununi, thank you so much for being with us, and I'm going to put you on.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Turnaround Incorporated for having me once again to recite my poetry. This is my third time participating in the Purple Poetry Book series. Sunny days sweeping the clouds away. I like to play with my dollies and pretend I'm their mommy and hug on them and kiss them and think of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and give them grape juice and shower them with love because it makes me feel good. Sunny days sweeping the clouds away. I like playing hopscotch and I love looking at Sesame Street. It seems like they have a lot of fun there. It's always sunny and we learn a lot. Numbers and letters. We learn how to get along with people. I wish for sunny days every day, but life doesn't seem to work that way. Some days are cloudier than others. It makes me feel bad. Like when adults say, "Do as I say, not what I do." I wish the adults would say what they mean instead of saying one thing and doing another. Because it leaves me confused and makes me feel like I'm stupid when I do something wrong. I thought they said I could do it, and then I get punished when I actually do it. It's confusing. Sunny days sweeping the clouds away. I tried to get what's mine back, yet you scold me because you think how I say it was whack. You make me feel wrong for even asking. Why are you always putting your stuff on me? I wanted to be treated with love and respect like the way you said you would. But I think y'all all are hypocrites for hiding and lying your mistreatment of me. Because no matter what, my pain is real, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. You don't have the right to tell me what to do. I'm tired of you telling me what to do when you do whatever you want. Treat me however you want. Sunny days sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the air is sweet. You no longer have power over me. I have a voice. You try to destroy it, but spirit won't allow it to stay silent forever. My inner child has spoken. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What a powerful poem. I really thank you for bearing with us and going through that. Very beautiful. Thank you for your contribution this year. Really appreciate you. So our next poet will be Nomvi, and she will be reading Empty. Nomvi, it's on you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Mevi, and then I'll be doing Empty. So here goes. Empty. To be empty is to be without. To be empty is to be with memories that cast a shadow in the day. It is to be filled with regrets, hopelessness, and rage. It is to be left with an unwanted image. To be empty is to fill. To fill the cold, soulless void with muffled cries while you stay pressed against unfamiliar grounds as your pride fades away. It is to be left with a memory of resounding cries matched with heavy breathing. A rapture taken, not given, only to lose your being to despair. Your heart, cold as the Arctic, called up in a ball of silence. Day after day, I have heard you. I have seen you. I am with you. But where are your dreams? Where is your fight? The plot thickens. She finds her feet in that unfamiliarity, braves the storm. She can't be kept down. Her strides are remarkable and noble despite the tide. She's golden. She is woman. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your contribution as well. Thank you again. You have a great night. Thank you for joining us. All right, you all. So we are coming to the end of our program. I do want to note that we did have some videos of poets who wanted to share their poems via video. We were having some issues with getting those things uploaded. So we will be looking for different opportunities to showcase those out to everyone. But you can always read these poems in the book. So we will drop the link to where you could purchase this year's 2021 Purple Poetry book. And to close us out, we have our executive director with us, who will be providing a moment of silence for survivors who have lost their lives to abuse, as well as telling you a little bit more about an ongoing program that we've been having for the last 6 weeks, and just to tell you a little bit more about Turnaround. So it is with my pleasure to introduce Amanda Rodriguez, Turnaround's executive director.
Thank you so much, Angelus. And yes, let's kick off and start this close with a moment of silence for those survivors who have lost their lives and their families. I want to step in now to a moment of gratitude for all of the survivors and all of those that joined us this evening who surrounded us with their art, who raised us up and inspired us, who educated us through their incredible words and poetry and prose and their art. The Purple Poetry book is really special. It's a unique place where survivors can express themselves through these really incredible mediums, and I am thankful for every single person that contributed to this year's book and contributed to this evening's success. Thank you for being a part of the Turnaround family. Thank you for sharing a bit of your journey with us, and we certainly hope that you will continue to be a part of all of the future wonderful things that will be happening with the agency. I did want to mention, of course, Angelus highlighted it, Turnaround is in the middle of what we're calling our 7 weeks of giving, which is an awareness event going on for 7 weeks. It's really 8 weeks, but it's 7 weeks with stops in different locations where we are highlighting multiple areas of turnaround services. And through that, we're able to talk about not only the unique services that Turnaround provides, but also the unique jurisdiction that Turnaround provides those services in. We want to make sure that every single survivor that needs access to victim services has those services, and that access, that visibility is not the barrier to survivors having that service. So this in particular is a way that we are reaching out and providing outreach. We're connecting with our communities around the Baltimore region and able to do that. In closing, what I wanted to say is this. The Purple Poetry book, as I mentioned, is this really unique thing that Turnaround does in partnership with the survivors. But this book is not just something that Turnaround puts on. This is something that it was actually survivors who brought this to us and said, this is something that we want to do. This is something that we think would be a good way for survivors to start moving toward healing. And I think that it is incredible that survivors stood up and had their voices heard in that way and continue to do so every single year through this medium. And I want to just affirm every survivor that's out there that's listening, whether you contributed to the book or not. We believe you, we hear you, we see you, and we stand with you. And on that note, thank you all of you for joining us this evening. And please continue to follow Turnaround and to be involved in all of the work that's going on. We just appreciate all of you so much.